My name is Angela.
My name is Nicole.
And welcome to the Ominous Stitch podcast. Hello, welcome Stitchers.
Hey.
I'm so excited. I know I say that pretty much like every
time.
podcast. I can't help it, but I'm really excited because this episode was actually requested.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Of course, it was requested by somebody that I know and I love very much so as my sweet husband. So this one's for you, babe.
Hey.
But he's been waiting for us to do this for a while. So I'm so glad that we're finally doing it.
There's so many different ones. So this one is a very specific encounter.
We are talking aliens, y'all.
Yeah.
Aliens.
UFOs.
Little green men from outer space.
That's funny you say
They
that.
don't have to be men.
Well, you know what? You kind of like catch up on my like wavelengths.
I do.
Because there's something that you just said that I'm going to go into. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, exciting.
So,
okay.
Good job. You just read my mind.
I do. I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of reading your mind.
Yes. What do you have? What's got you in stitches?
I have two things that have me in stitches.
I have nothing.
The first one, I was so channeling you.
Okay.
So I'll do both stitches because the
please.
first one is absolutely you going through me. Okay.
All right.
So I was taking my kids to school this morning.
Okay.
Normal, you know. Yay, everyday life, taking my kids to school. And I always park in the neighborhood and then I walk them on campus.
Oh, yeah.
And it was French Bulldog Day. They were everywhere. Everywhere. It's so cute. And
my favorite
I
dog.
know. See, this is why I'm channeling you. I was like, Nicole would be
them.
freaking out. They're
I
so
would
cute.
Pick them up and hug them and squeeze them and never let them go.
So I got to do that with a little fawn one named Rudy.
What a good name.
And he was fawn. That's your favorite color.
That's the one I want.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
He was
jealous.
such a little round butterball.
Was
he
he
was
a
so
puppy
cute.
or adult?
He was an adult, but
Okay.
he was just so perfectly
Yes. I
round
love
and just
those.
very Frenchy.
Sausage Frenchie.
And his dad was just like, he's the best dog. He's such a good therapy dog. And in my head, I could like all these noises that you're making right now. That's what was going on in my head.
I would have
Because
done
I'm like,
them
this
out.
is Nicole in my head making all these noises. It was so cute. I was like, she's going to die that I actually am like touching this dog and like getting his little face. And he's all like,
Oh, I love those little sounds. And just big tongues.
and their little
big
snorty
ears and
snorts.
flat faces.
Yes.
Oh, I love Frenchie so much.
Nicole wants me to raise Frenchies on the farm.
Oh yeah. No, if I could change jobs in a drop of a hat, I would go buy Frenchies and I would be here like 24/7
Raising them on my farm.
Frenchies on a farm. I would have a little pen back there. I'd make it myself.
I know you would. You're so cute.
A pen. Like they're chickens.
Yeah.
No, but I would have a space for them because I love French Bulldogs. Maybe I'll do that when I retire.
Yeah, you can raise Frenchies.
I would absolutely love it. So I'm so jealous. I'm so glad you got to see a Frenchie.
And it was like, it made me so happy. I was like, I can't wait to tell Nicole. I'm like, that's going to be my stitches.
Squishy face.
Until stitches number 2 happened.
She
Are you
said
ready?
This was opposite. Okay.
This is an opposite. This is very ominous.
Okay.
So when I got home, I was
is
sitting.
Your farm haunted?
Well, I was sitting.
Sorry.
I was sitting in my car.
Okay.
And I had my door open.
Yeah.
You know, because I was about to get out, but I was just answering.
And you're by yourself.
I'm by myself.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was just answering some text messages, and I heard some noises that kind of sounded like shuffling happening in the grass.
What?
And I didn't think anything of it because, you know, I have chickens and we free range them during the day, and often they're right around.
And you've got squirrels running around.
I have squirrels running around.
Lots of things going on.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, it's just, you know, chickens scratching around.
Yeah.
Because that can kind of sound like walking or feet shuffling.
Sure.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And so the shuffling started to get a little bit louder, and all of a sudden I heard like a big metally clangy clash and then chatter that sounded like words, but I couldn't distinguish what they were. And it was really, really loud. Like it sounded like it was coming from my garage, like it was happening right behind me. So my garage door happened to be open because I was about to go inside.
Mm-hmm.
And so I jumped out of my car, but as soon as I jumped out of my car, all the sounds stopped. It was completely dead and still. Nothing was moved around in my garage. There was no metal or anything misplaced that was clanking or making sounds.
So there was nothing like out of place in the garage.
Nothing out of place. There were no animals around me.
What?
All the chickens had moved on to a different part of the land.
And you heard distinctive like voices.
I heard distinctive chattery voices. Yes. And there was nothing as soon as I got out of the car. And it was loud, like it was right behind me.
Right.
I get out of the car and there's nothing. It just stopped immediately and there's nothing around me.
Residual.
Right?
You're so sensitive.
It was crazy.
I would be so scared. Did you sage your garage?
I don't think we saged the garage.
You need
So
to
maybe
go
we
sage
should do that.
place.
Yeah.
You need to sage everything outside. What?
I
That
still
is
have my
so
sage, my smudge stick, so
creepy.
I can go do that. It's cool. I thought it was cool.
You're weird.
It didn't freak me out. It was just kind of like, oh,
So you got
that's an
something
interesting
going
thing.
on,
I will definitely talk about it on the podcast.
Huh. I'm just thinking like before you, there was only like what, one owner maybe?
Oh no, there's been many owners.
Oh, okay. How old is this farm?
This farm was, well, I don't know how long the land was built, but this
Okay.
house, the land has been here because it's
Forever.
land. But the house was built in 1981.
Oh, that's not that long.
Yeah, it's not that long, but it has gone through a lot of owners.
No
when
one's
it's
died
looking-
on the property, right?
Not that I'm aware of, not that I've been made aware of. So I don't know. I don't know the history of the property. I do
Creepy.
know the people that lived here before us are sweet and wonderful, and I
Sure.
love them, and I still text them.
Okay.
And
So there wasn't
they're
any like bad
great
energy
people.
there?
No.
Huh. Did
And-
they ever tell you things that happened here?
No.
Huh.
No.
They probably would never do that.
They wanted to sell the house,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
they really
Like,
wouldn't
oh,
do
we
that.
don't want to tell you scary stuff.
Right. No, but they're very wonderful, sweet people.
Interesting.
But they were here for 5 years.
Uh-huh.
The people before them were here for just a couple years.
Weird.
And it seems like people that lived in this house haven't lived here for very long. It's changed a lot of
Right.
hands. So I'm like, I'm wondering if there is something going
or
on
somebody
here.
left something, like something was attached to somebody.
Well, okay, here's
Oh,
an interesting
no.
thing.
Okay.
We do have a floor safe that nobody knows how to open.
Really?
Isn't that cool?
Just use some tools. What? Can you not like
No, we have to get a safe cracker because
go
it's
get it?
I know,
I'll buy
I know.
it for you. I'm so intrigued.
well, yeah, I have a number of a guy, so I'm gonna give him a call and
Get
see
that
what's in
guy's
that
number.
floor safe.
Get it.
We're like, it's gonna be $1 million. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be so cool? Like, or like some really old stocks and bonds. That,
Oh,
like,
that would be cool.
that would be so awesome.
Yeah, there's probably nothing in there, but just it would be cool.
Just to have, or even like just some kind of like weird paraphernalia.
right,
like-
but right now it's $1 million in
Okay,
my head.
okay.
We have $1 million
or like
in the floor.
doubloons.
doubloons, or a crazy like treasure map that we have to
Yes.
go follow. Yeah.
on the farm.
Yes.
Oh, like under the big tree.
yes, under the big pepper
I
tree.
can
There's
only imagine. Oh, I'm so
so
excited.
yeah. So those are
That's
the two things that had me in
creepy.
stitches.
Those are good.
One is like wonderful little
Yeah,
puppies,
one's
and the other one
happy
is
and-
like haunting. Maybe I don't know.
I don't like it. Well, every time I'm here,
Yes.
I feel fine.
Well, yeah.
But I'm not sensitive like you, I don't think.
Oh,
so.
I feel very welcome and
Okay.
happy in this house. Yeah.
Except for all the weird incidents of
So when the weird incidents happen, like lights flickering, we have the weird light flickerings that happen. And I
Mhm.
told you I did a little session in my office because the lights were flickering
That's
one day.
right.
They
And
have
you
not
caught some
flickered
things.
since.
Okay.
They're on right now. They've just been steady.
and the scary sounds that we had when we were here. Remember the scary sounds were just your lightsaber?
Oh yeah. I went to Disneyland and I made a lightsaber.
Disneyland. And it was going off like crazy.
Yeah.
We're like, what's that sound?
It hasn't done it since. So I
'Cause
don't
you
know.
turned it off, right? You were
No,
able to-
I didn't
oh,
mess with it.
Okay.
It just stopped doing it. So I don't know.
So a ghost was playing with your lightsaber.
Maybe.
That
I
would have
don't
been cool,
know.
man.
It's a fun electronic for them to mess with that they haven't
Yep.
probably encountered before. So
What is this? It's fun.
Oh, fun stuff. Okay, well, are we ready to dive in?
Yeah,
to
I'm
week's-
really excited about this crochet pattern that you found. It's so cool.
It is way cool.
It
So
looks hard.
it's not hard. It's not hard.
All right.
It's complicated. There are many steps, but let's talk about it when we get stitching. Should we get stitching?
Let's get stitching.
Let's get stitching. Okay, Stitchers, are you ready for this week's crochet?
Yes.
Now, this one is going to be a little bit frustrating for some of you because,
Let's say that.
well, it's a purchased pattern.
Right.
And so I don't have permission currently to demonstrate it. I'm working
Yes.
on that, so we'll see if we can do that. But
It fits our theme.
it fits our theme,
Yeah.
and it is the cutest thing
It is.
I've ever seen. So we will show you guys pictures on our socials.
Oh, we'll take tons of pictures.
It's an alien head granny square. In fact, that is exactly what it's called, alien head granny square. And I found this on Ravelry. So I was talking to Nicole, and I was like, Nicole, do you know Ravelry?
I've heard of it.
She's heard of it,
Yeah.
but she's like, what is it? If you guys don't know Ravelry, this will expand your mind. So you need to go to Ravelry.com.
Okay.
And you can sign up for free. It's not like a thing, but any type of yarn art project that you want, it's just a database for those.
Oh, it's there.
Yeah, it's
Find
there.
anything.
So
huh?
if you feel like, I really want to make a really cool alien head
Hey.
or find some kind of pattern that has to do with aliens, because that is our theme this week.
Yeah.
You just type in, on the query, you type in query. I love that word.
That's a good word.
Yes, it is. And you're like, I want to do something with aliens. Is there any alien crochet project? And then a bunch of things will pop up and you just see pictures and you're like, ooh, let's see this one. A lot of patterns are free. So that's absolutely something that you can search for. This one was not. This is a paid pattern. It's $3 and
That's not bad.
it's not bad at all. It's absolutely worth the
$3
$3 because there are so many things you can do with this cute little granny square.
Yay.
And it is brought to us by Christine and Melvin. And
Christine
she has a
Melvin.
Facebook. Yeah, she has a Facebook group called Alternative Crochet. So you can find her on Facebook. But this pattern is so stinking cute, you guys.
It's
and
really adorable.
It's very simple to make. I want to turn it into pants. Nicole was like, it can be like an applique. You can put it on a jean jacket or something. And I was like, that would be super
right?
cute.
On the back or the
On the
front.
back of a jacket,
Yeah.
just to use like a patch.
Yeah.
Or you can make it a sweater, but it's just this cute little alien head with these giant big black eyes. And I got to use some techniques that I've never used before.
Like what?
Like right in between the
I
eyes.
see that. It's the thicker area there.
Yeah. So it's a join together. So
Oh.
I've done different ways of joining together, but the way you do it this way is that I stitched down part of one of the eyes and then I joined at the corner of the eyes. I did a join together, which is, you do I think it was a single crochet joined together. So you start a single crochet and then you pull up a loop and you start a single crochet in the other one, pull up a loop and you pull through all three loops, right?
Oh,
Join
okay.
together. We've done those
Yes.
before,
Yeah.
right? Or crochet together, right?
Crochet together. Yeah.
And then you go back the other eye by doing a stitch in the corresponding side. Hopefully this makes sense. But you do, like, if it was a single crochet in that stitch placement on the first eye, you do a single crochet there, and then you pull up the loop and then you insert your hook into that stitch and you pull the loop through that stitch. And so that makes it come together.
Cool.
It joins it together. And it makes this really cool little design
Yeah,
in
it
between
looks.
the eyes.
You can tell it's a little different. It pops up more than the other side.
So that was a cool technique that I've
Yeah.
never done before. The rest of it is just, normal crochet stitches that you would
Cool.
normally do. It does have 2 magic rings when you're making the eyes,
Mm-hmm.
but it is the cutest little dude. So I highly
Yay!
recommend you guys go to Ravelry, look up the alien head granny square, spend those $3, y'all,
Get it.
because it is so worth it. And it's
Yes!
so cute.
It is super cute.
And you can do sweaters, you can do pants, you
Anything
can do
you want.
blanket,
Bags.
bags.
make a
That would be such a
bag,
cute
right?
bag.
Put it on the bag.
Oh, but for all you alien lovers, please dig this one out. And you
Yes.
can see pictures of it on our social media. I don't know if I'll be able to demonstrate it for you guys, but I will do something so that you guys can see this beautiful
In
alien
progress,
head. It's
yeah.
so cute.
It is very cool.
So cute.
Good job, Angela.
Thank you.
Good find.
Yay. So that's all I have for Stitches this week.
Okay. That's good because this story is so cool.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
I'm so excited.
So should we get to story time?
It's story time. Okay, Angela.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we are going to do Close Encounter at Kelly, Kentucky.
Close Encounter at Kelly,
Kelly,
Kentucky. Okay.
Now, this has been known. This story blew up to the point where it became the Little Green Men.
Oh,
Going
okay.
back to where you were saying,
Yes.
Little
Green Men.
But the fact that that's called that is weird because these creatures that were spotted and encountered, they weren't green.
Oh.
And they weren't men. So
What?
it just spun out of control. And there was other encounters after this that were saying that they were big green men. So it just kind of went out of control. But let's get into this. It's so cool.
Okay.
Okay, so now, do you remember how we talked about the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, right? And they celebrated this well-known cryptid that is based on eyewitness accounts.
Yes.
Okay, did you know that just a state over, they have what's called the Kelly Little Green Men Days Festival?
Kelly Little Green Men Days Festival.
Right.
And Kelly is a shade of green, which you are currently
Oh
wearing
my
right now.
gosh.
Did you notice? You're wearing Kelly green. You're channeling it.
I didn't even put that together.
How cute is that?
Okay, well, yeah. So the festival, unfortunately, was canceled in 2021, and I'm not sure if it was held this year because I couldn't find it on the website,
Aw.
but it would have been their 10th anniversary.
Oh,
Yeah, if
I
they
love
did
it.
it. Yeah.
So 10 years. So is it that recent that they've had these sightings?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just recent that they are
Started doing
now
the festival.
celebrating it. Yes.
Okay.
Like, oh, okay, something happened. We're going to throw a big festival for
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. I love it.
Okay, so the event that I'm about to talk about, I've heard about this a few years ago, and it's really fascinating.
Okay.
Like, it gets me. I'm so into this. It was kicked off because, again, I was telling you about the aliens of Little Green Men, but that's not exactly what was witnessed. And 10 different people, I'm going to reiterate this, 10 different people witnessed this incident.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's start from the beginning.
Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. When you sing, you begin with A, B, C. Oh, no. When you read. When you read, you begin with A, B, C. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi. Now she got it. I was like, I'm going to keep
what
going
is this
until she gets it.
from? Do, a deer,
A female deer. Yeah.
I was like, I know this song. I know it. Where is it from? Okay. All right. So the date is Sunday, August 21st, 1955.
Okay.
I like the 50s, apparently.
The 50s.
What's
yeah.
going on with the 50s with me? I guess I just like starting there.
Well, a lot of things happened in the 50s,
Yeah.
though.
Well, the giggling granny was the 50s.
Yeah, she was in the 50s.
Right. That's when she was arrested. But
Yeah. That's
But anyway, the 50s, 1955. Okay. The scene, a small 3-acre farm located in Kelly, Oklahoma, very close to Hopkinsville. The small town of Kelly had roughly 150 people in the community, all in scattered farmhouses.
okay.
It was very rural.
Right.
The Sutton farmhouse was situated right next to the L&N Railroad and Route 41. From the front porch, you could see the tops of cars going back and forth. So it was very close to a main road.
Yeah. And the L&N Railroad.
L&N Railroad.
Shout out to anybody that's played Rail Baron. That was Nicole's face right now. It's a board game from I don't know, the 70s, but it's a tradition in my family. Growing up, you play it every holiday that you're together, and it can take days to play this board game. Yeah.
Is it all just like
railroads.
making a railroad?
Yeah, you become a rail baron, and L&N is one of them.
Oh.
Yep.
Is L&N in Monopoly too? Am I wrong?
It might be.
I can't remember. I
don't know.
I haven't played Monopoly.
What are the Monopoly railroads? let us
Give us
know.
a
Give us a shout out.
We
Let us
just
know
have
below. We
all
don't
these
remember.
different versions of Monopoly at our house, like little kid ones. Right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
don't
we have that.
the
We have
specific-
Miss Monopoly, and it's all
Oh.
about women that have invented things. So you
that's
collect
cool.
the inventor cards for
Right
the women
on.
that have invented things. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool.
We have yokai.
Yokai Monopoly. I love it.
Collect the yokai.
I love it.
All right. The Sutton Farm grew tobacco to sell and a small amount of vegetables to just eat at the farm. And the nearest house to this particular farm was roughly a quarter of a mile away.
Okay.
So again, this is very rural.
Yeah.
They had a well in the backyard to get their water and an outhouse at the corner of the property.
Mm-hmm.
To the left and right, there were chicken wire fence.
Right.
The left had barbed wire as well, roughly 2 to 3 feet high.
Okay.
And maple trees grew in the front as well as in the back of the house. And the back edge of the property had a cyclone fence that was 4 feet high, although half of it was torn down.
Okay.
Beyond the fence, a field belonged to their neighbor, Gaither McGehee. This was
Gaither McGehee.
Yeah, hard name to say.
Nice.
Gaither McGehee, that had a gully, or it's like a ravine to the right if
Right.
you're looking at it from an aerial point of view.
Yeah, I have a little ravine on my property.
Okay, so you know it.
And this is a 2.5 acre, so their farm is just, half an acre bigger
so
than
this
mine.
is helping you get a
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
I want to do that because it's very important how everything is set up for that night.
Okay.
The Sutton family animals only consisted of pigs, cat and kittens, and 1 dog. So it was very strictly growing tobacco, which was like the big crop of the time.
Right.
Inside the house was a living room, a bedroom, a kitchen, and back porch. And the entire house was approximately 35 by 15 feet.
Oh, okay.
Very
small. Yeah.
Small farmhouse. The bedroom had 2 beds. The living room also had 2 beds. And the living room housed a fireplace for warmth. There was no radio, nor telephone, nor running water in the farmhouse.
Oh.
So very bare minimums.
Yeah.
Okay. That evening, that August 21st, there were 8 adults and 3 children at the Sutton farmhouse. Let me go through the list.
8 adults. 8 adults.
8 adults.
And 3 children.
Children at that night. Okay.
Okay. Not everybody living in that house.
No.
Okay.
No.
I feel like, ooh,
Just
that's a
that
cramped, tiny little
that
house.
would be. But they were all staying the night.
Oh, how?
Exactly, right. Okay. So Mrs. Glennie Langford was 50 years old. She is kind of the matriarch. Elmer Lucky Sutton, his nickname was Lucky. He's 25 years old. This is Mrs. Langford's son by her first husband. And her first husband was Tillman Sutton. That doesn't matter. He was deceased. So he's not in the picture. So Glennie Langford, Lucky Sutton, Vera Sutton, 29 years old, wife of Lucky, J.C. Sutton, 21, another son of Mrs. Langford, Aileen Sutton, 27, wife of J.C.
Okay.
O.P. Baker, he's the brother of Aileen, so he's related to kind of.
Okay. Gotcha.
He's roughly in his 30s. Billy Ray Taylor, he's a big one in this story, 21 years old, friend of Lucky's. June Taylor, 18, wife of Billy Ray. And then the kids, Lonnie Charlton and Mary Langford, roughly 12, 10, and 7 years old.
Okay.
The
Like my kids.
Yes. Now the
Sort of.
children all belonged to Mrs. Langford, and they were from her second husband, Oscar Langford, who had also passed away. Okay.
Do we have a giggling granny
No.
situation here?
No relation.
Okay.
No relation. 1950s, I guess, Hey. So, So again, 8 adults and 3 children.
Okay.
There were other Sutton family members, Tillman Sutton Jr. and Frank Sutton. They lived in Hopkinsville, so it wasn't like kind of down the road. They lived in the main area. And then Violet was a daughter of Mrs. Langford who lived in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so these
She
3,
got out.
these 3 are not in this area.
Okay.
Now, the permanent residents. So you're asking, like, this is a lot of people that live in this house. So the permanent residents were Mrs. Langford, J.C. Sutton and his wife, and the 3 children. Okay.
Okay.
But both the Taylors and Lucky Sutton and wife were staying there for a few months.
Oh my
This farmhouse was
goodness.
crowded.
How?
And also, I have to note this
Wow.
because it pertains to the story as we'll get into it. Those 2 couples were with a traveling carnival.
Oh.
That was a cute giggle. I like that. Okay. Timeline.
Okay.
Note, this whole event was pieced together by various interviews and eyewitness accounts, so it gets a little fuzzy here and there, but this is the best recount of the close encounter at Kelly.
Okay.
Now, first,
I just got chills.
I know. This is so cool.
Okay.
Now, first, I want to go over this in August 22nd, so the day after the event. Okay, I just want to put this out here. In the Evansville Press, police stated residents of a farm area half a mile from Kelly reported a rocket ship or flying saucer landed in a field about half a mile from Kelly. Residents told officers they saw a flash coming out of the sky. The glowing missile swooped down on a field near the Sutton Farm.
Oh, so other people saw it, but they weren't like.
So let me set that. I just wanted to give that out because I want to show that there was a news report about this alien sighting, this UFO.
That's cool.
Okay. All right. Rewind.
Okay.
Now, back to August 21st. Okay. 7:30 p.m. It's late summer in Oklahoma. The night was still hot and full of mosquitoes. Yeah. Boo. Most of the family and friends were in the farmhouse while Billy Ray Taylor, again, he's the friend of Lucky's, went out back to get some water from the well. All seemed normal.
Okay.
But soon after he reached the well, Billy Ray ran back in a frenzy to the farmhouse, claiming he just saw a flying saucer.
Whoa.
Bucket still in his hand, he claimed that he saw a silvery object, real bright, with an exhaust all the colors of the rainbow.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
Rainbowy.
That's cool.
Right? It was a quiet object, obviously, since no one in the family heard anything except Billy Ray shouting about the flying object.
Oh.
It was very quiet.
Interesting.
He watched it fly towards the farm about 30 to 40 feet in the air, slow down, and then drop straight down and land in the 40-foot gully in Gaither McGee's property.
Whoa.
Well, the family thought he was joking because no one took him seriously. And there's a theme to that, which is actually kind of funny.
Okay.
So no one took him seriously. He's like,
oh, you're funny.
Oh, Billy Ray, he's the carnival.
He's trying to get us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his normal character traits obviously led them to believe he was trying to get a rise out of everybody.
Right.
They told him he must have seen a shooting star. And because of this, they all stayed inside the farmhouse and no one investigated or inquired outside. 8:00 p.m.
Okay.
The Sutton family dog is outside and started barking ferociously.
Oh, no. When your animals start going crazy,
Right?
That's
a
it
sign.
Has to prick things on your neck and like get you. Yeah, you've got to be on alert
You're
if
like,
your animals are doing
you're
stuff.
on a farm, maybe there's a fox or a wolf or something out there, maybe trying to
but
get
still,
some
you need to
animals, but-
investigate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So he starts barking ferociously. This alarmed Lucky Sutton and Billy Ray, who wandered to the back door to see what was going on. They go out and they poke their heads out, and as soon as they did this, the dog shot underneath the house with his tail beneath his legs.
Oh, puppy.
And side note, the dog hid there until the next day, as no one saw him the entire night.
Oh, poor puppy.
So he was very
I'm
scared.
glad that he didn't die because of the
No,
alien encounter.
hashtag dog did not die.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's new.
Yes.
I feel like in all of the movies and things that
They
we
have to-
watch where they
right.
encounter aliens, the dog dies.
Dog dies. But this one doesn't. He's just really, really scared.
Scared, poor
Mhm.
baby.
Yeah. So they're outside. So it's just Billy Ray, right? And Lucky. Something at that moment happened that really creeped the two men out. They could see something approach their farmhouse from the back fields, and it had a strange glow to it.
Ooh.
It got closer and closer to the point they could finally make out a figure. Yeah, it was a man. No, not really a man.
Oh.
It was only 3.5 feet tall with an oversized, perfectly round head.
Oh.
Arms that were long to the point they almost touched the ground.
Wow.
The hands were massive, but the fingers ended with long talons that narrowly missed scraping the ground.
Woo. That's good.
Right? The eyes were much larger than human eyes, and they glowed with a yellowish light. They weren't exactly in the place human eyes were either, but they were not like fish eyes on the side, somewhere kind of in between.
Mm-hmm.
And they described the creature as being made of a sort of silver metal that glowed in the darkness. And they compared it to the light from the radium dial on a watch.
Oh,
I was like, that's really clever.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Like, because you can really visualize
Yeah.
what that is. Yeah. Oh, cool.
As the creature approached, it raised its hands as if it was surrendering or if it was being wrought.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's like this, right?
Yeah. Hands up.
Hands up. And
So I
it
put my hands up there. No, it's a totally different thing.
changed the mood. Okay. Now it was moving really, really slow, and it was moving towards the back door where Billy Ray and Lucky were still standing.
So he was, or it,
Yes.
I'm not going to say he,
Yeah.
they were approaching
Like
the two
this.
men with his hands up
up.
in the air, just walking slowly, but like walking towards the two men.
Constantly just still walking towards them.
Oh, okay. That seems very like friendly.
Yes.
Scary,
Curious,
but like
not trying to
I'm not
going
like
to
I'm
harm
trying
you.
to eat you.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll eat you. Yeah. Now, the setting, of course, was on a farm in the 1950s. So the first gut reaction for these men were to find their guns and rifles.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
I was going to say that. I'm like, get your gun.
Get your gun. Lucky found his 20 gauge shotgun and Billy Ray found the 22 rifle. They didn't automatically charge outside, but rather waited inside while the creature still slowly made its way towards them.
He just wants help.
He just wants to talk. When the creature was roughly 20 feet away from the farmhouse back door, the two men fired their weapons straight at it.
Oh, no.
What's crazy
Uh-huh.
is the creature apparently somersaulted backwards and, as the men stated, did a flip, scrambled upright, and scurried away into the darkness to the side of the house. Now, how it scurried was interesting in comparison to the slow method of approaching the house. It lowered its hands to the ground and ran super fast on all fours as if it was using its arms to propel it quickly across the ground.
Interesting.
And its thin legs were helping to keep it in balance.
I gotcha. So the arms were the power force,
Yes,
and the
like
back
like a
legs were just kind of
gorilla
like
kinda.
kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a gorilla.
Yeah, there you go.
Good comparison,
Yeah.
Nicole.
Now at this point, I'm sure Lucky and Billy Ray's adrenaline were rushing that they waited a few minutes to see if the creature would reemerge,
Yeah.
but they didn't see anything outside anymore. So they went inside to the living room where all the women were. Okay. Now, by the way,
Yes.
the women all thought the boys were playing a prank and being silly, shooting guns off.
Yep.
Okay.
I get it. Uh-huh.
They were busy with their farm chores, finishing with dishes and getting the children to bed, so they paid them little attention.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like an alien encounter is not something that you're
It's gonna come
expecting
into
to
your head.
happen.
Exactly. It's the
Like,
last.
oh,
last
you
thing,
boys,
right?
stop,
Right. Stop
goofing
being
around.
boys, yeah.
Yeah.
But as soon as the men gathered in the living room, another creature that looked just like the first one, appeared in the side window.
Oh.
So they're not really sure if this is the same one or if it's
Or the different one.
Okay.
Ooh.
At this point, J.C. Sutton also had a firearm, a 22 rifle. All the men reacted by firing another shot through the screen side window, and they were sure they hit the creature. However, it did the same as the other creature and flipped, then disappeared.
Oh, wow.
I don't think everyone saw the creature at this point, but possibly Aileen did. And at some point, Aileen saw one of the creatures. I wasn't sure if it was there or somewhere else because it's, again, piecing together.
Right.
But it is unclear exactly where she viewed it. Mrs. Langford saw how Aileen was scared and shaken and terrified, and she told Mrs. Langford that she saw one of the creatures. Mrs. Langford then told everyone to turn the lights out, which they all did. But she really wanted to catch a glimpse of what everybody else was seeing. Okay. She was like, what's going on?
Right. Yeah.
So Billy was crouching in the hallway after the living room incident towards the front door. So Mrs. Langford crouched down with him and asked, "Now, just what have you been seeing?" He responded with, "Wait and you'll see."
That's so scary.
Right?
No, don't say that.
That's what he said.
It's like, wait, and you'll see.
Yep.
Oh, that's
So-
good. That's good. That's like in a movie.
It
That's
is.
good.
Movie scene. They remained crouched only 3 feet away from the front door for 20 minutes.
Oh, no.
They were just like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Langford got her wish.
Chills. Okay. is so good.
It's really good. One of the creatures approached the door. She and Billy stayed in their crouched position until the creature came right up to the screen of the front door. She described the creature looking like a 5-gallon gasoline can with a head on top and small legs.
Okay.
All right. She said it was a shimmering bright metal like on my refrigerator.
Oh, okay.
It's another shiny, metallic looking thing.
Yeah, so like stainless steel kind of. Yeah.
Mrs. Langford wanted to get up, but unfortunately her legs had locked up from crouching for so long.
Oh, no.
And then also she's in the dark.
I feel you,
lights are
Mrs.
off.
Langford. I'm in my mid 40s now, and like if
you
I crouch
for
for
20
too long,
minutes,
I can't
think
stand
my
up
legs
either.
would have been dead by then.
Yeah.
So she lost her balance and she fell flat on the floor, and she was shrieking and making a dull thud noise as she fell. The thud and shriek startled the creature, who jumped back into the yard. But Billy decided to shoot the creature through the screen
Of course
door.
he did, because shoot first, ask
first.
questions later. Yeah.
The creature just jumped up high onto the roof of the house.
Whoa!
At least that's what they thought it did. Billy Ray made his way through the screen and was heading out into the yard, stopping underneath a small overhang on the roof at the front of the door, when everyone started freaking out and yelling at Billy Ray.
Oh, Billy Ray!
Billy
you
Ray.
get back in here!
Well, no. They witnessed a clawed hand reach out from the overhead and touch his hair.
No! Oh my God!
Right? Aileen screamed and grabbed Billy's arm, pulling him back into the house.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Lucky was close behind Taylor, so he shoved his way into the front yard, passing Billy Ray and Aileen, and fired his 12-gauge shotgun in the vicinity of the creature on the overhang. Apparently, this actually knocked the creature over the roof. As soon as that shot happened, Billy Ray noticed another creature on an outstretched limb of a maple tree that was right next to the house. And he yelled, "There's one up in the tree, too." Lucky and Taylor shot at that creature up in the tree. Not sure if it was hanging or standing. No details were given.
Okay.
But it sent the creature flying off the limb. However, instead of just falling to the ground like most things do with gravity,
Right.
they swore it floated to the ground very slow-like. And when it landed, the men shot at it again, but it scurried off on all fours, exactly how the first creature did when the men shot at that one. So
That's good.
this is the overhang.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yes. It's not a very big
It's
overhang.
a very small overhang.
It's tiny. It's probably like what, maybe like 2 feet, 2.5
by 2,
feet.
yeah.
Yeah, it's tiny. Ooh.
So that's where the alien was hanging, where he grabbed his
grabbed
hair.
his head. Oh,
Just like touched his hair.
That's so good. That's such like a scene in the movie that we're going to talk about
Yes,
today.
right?
I totally get why we watched that movie.
Yeah.
You're so good. Oh, Nicole.
I like
That's so good.
themes. At the same exact time this all happened, okay, from the northwest corner of the house and right in front of Lucky, another creature started to approach.
Wait, so this is like number 3.
Yes.
Maybe.
We don't know. This is the hard part. There's no recollection of exactly how many creatures there were. This could have been the same exact one.
It could have been the same one
Or 2.
all of the time. No, because there were definitely 2
There
seen
should
at
have
the
been
same
2.
time.
Yeah.
Okay, but they would disappear because they're being shot at.
They're being shot
Like,
at.
okay, here's my problem. If they would have just put their diplomatic pants on when the creature had their hands up and
Yes.
was definitely in a submissive posture,
Right.
and just been like, "Hi, let's have a conversation," I'm sure all of this like craziness would have, assuaged.
But does it speak English?
It
didn't talk.
Good question.
Right?
I heard they speak
Sure,
like telepathically,
but-
but I have no idea. I've never met an alien to my knowledge.
Oh, you remembered. Because, they like
Or
to
if I
erase
remember
your-
it, they erase your brain.
Yep. Well, anyway. So it
Okay.
hasn't talked at this point, right? But
Okay.
So this creature, when it started to approach, it could have been the same one from the roof. We don't know.
Okay.
But it was so close to Lucky that he took aim and shot at the creature at point blank range.
Whoa.
So right at me, right in front of you.
Again, just talk to him. Have a
Nope,
conversation.
Just wanted to shoot at him.
Ugh.
They described the sound of the creature getting hit as if the shotgun shell hit a metal bucket.
Whoa.
Yeah. The creature did the exact same thing as the others. It flipped over, got up, and ran away into the darkness. They didn't think the shotgun blast hurt the creature if it was able to scurry away so quickly.
Right.
Now, as you were saying, after witnessing the creatures unfazed at all by being shot at, Lucky decided it was time to let the creatures be.
Thank you, Lucky.
Yeah, finally, Lucky.
Thank you for having some sense at some point.
At some point. No more shooting.
Yeah.
Okay? The men who were outside gathered back into the farmhouse to hash out their plan of action at this point.
Okay.
Putting some pieces together, they agreed that because they would only see one creature at a time, there was most likely only 2 creatures, maybe 1 or 2 more, but it was really hard to tell. They were never in pairs or groups.
Okay.
It was always
one
individual.
Would pop up, and then for me, I'm having like visions of what is that game, the whack-a-mole?
Oh, I was thinking of when you're at the Disneyland and you're doing the
Toy Story
game,
yes,
and the aliens
and the things they come out of the side and they pop out. Yeah,
like Duck
that
Hunt.
too.
Yep.
Yes, Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt.
I used to cheat at Duck Hunt.
Don't cheat.
No, I
How'd
used
you
to.
do that? Would you get really close to it?
Yeah, I'm
Don't
on the
get
screen.
close to the
shooting.
TV.
Well, I was, little.
Okay. Cheaters, but that's okay. And wherever they appeared, they were typically coming from a dark part of their yard. The theory was because their eyes were just so large, maybe they weren't able to handle the light like human pupils do.
Oh.
Because it had no pupils.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, they recapped on how when a creature was shot on the ground, it would do a flip and run away on all fours. But when shot in the air, it didn't fall, but it floated.
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting.
More on the running. They didn't see knee joints if the hips flexed, but more like the legs were similar to stilt.
Oh,
So they never bent.
Interesting.
Okay. No one went to the authorities right away, and this is because of the many different encounters they had that night. It was just constantly happening, right? Thankfully, the creatures were not violent. They didn't attack.
Right. No, they never attacked.
Nope.
They would do a flip and run away.
They tried to touch, but they weren't like trying to grab them and kill them, right?
Yeah, I think he was just trying to be
Curious.
like, hi.
Yeah.
Like,
Stop shooting at me. Nope.
Or maybe he needed a touch to communicate.
Oh, maybe. And he didn't get close enough. He just touched the hair.
Yeah.
Didn't touch skin, maybe.
Maybe.
And even Mrs. Langford, though, she kept trying to gather the men back into the house since they weren't being harmed. She was smart.
Right. She's like, leave him alone. Leave him be.
Let him be. Yeah. After each encounter, after realizing the men were not trying to prank anyone, the women became frightened throughout the night. So that's when they were able to see them.
Right.
The children as well. And they couldn't stay in bed due to the frenzied activity.
Well, yeah. If they're all in like these
It's
2
one
rooms in
small
this
area.
tiny house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can't tell if any more sightings or running outside and shooting happened at this point because this was the main encounters. But we do know one of the children had run out into the front yard when a creature was seen and fired at. So we also know that by the time the family left to go to the authorities, one child was hysterical and had to be carried to the car. It was roughly 11 o'clock p.m. when they climbed into their 2 automobiles on the property and drove straight to the Hopkinsville police station. So 7:30 to 11. That's when everything happened.
3.5 hours. Because math. Yay.
Good job. Now, the fact that this group of people even arrived at the doorsteps of the police station was a red flag for Chief of Police Greenwell.
Uh-oh.
He is quoted, "These aren't the kind of people who normally run to the police for help. When they feel themselves threatened, what they do is reach for their guns."
Yep, that's exactly
And they
what
did
they
that.
did. Yeah, they did that.
They were believed immediately.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So back to the farm they sped in tow. There were Kentucky state troopers they had called in, a deputy sheriff from the Christian County Sheriff's Office, a staff photographer of the Kentucky New Era, Chief Greenwell, and I believe at least one more investigator that rode with Billy Taylor. It is noted that the investigator riding with Billy Ray Taylor and the family noticed how pale and hysterical Billy Ray was. And he even took his pulse. He had medical experience.
Oh, okay.
The investigator noted his heart rate at 140 beats per minute,
Ooh.
typically twice as normal than the average heartbeat.
Right. Yeah.
And he was quoted, "Maybe the boy could pretend to be frightened in some ways, but I don't know how he could make his heart beat twice as fast as usual."
Right. Yeah. That's a fight or flight thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, something did happen. So we're going to go
Right.
back with them. Now, the only non-witness of the creature. So at the beginning, I said there's 10 witnesses
Right.
out of 11.
11 people. Yeah.
June Taylor, wife of Billy Ray, stayed behind at the police station when everyone else left. She didn't see anything because she refused to.
Oh, she's like, I don't want to look. I don't want to know. Yeah.
She was too scared. At some point, though, as there was a lot of commotion and back and forth at night, she did return back to the farmhouse. They don't know how, but she finally went back. But she was the only one that didn't see anything. The 3 children saw things.
Yeah. She chose not to see, though. That's the thing. Like, she very well could have seen. She may have and just decided, nope,
no,
that's
not
in
I'm done.
my world of possibility. I didn't see it. Nope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I need to note at some point, most likely right at the beginning of the investigation, something strange was happening in the night sky.
There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Alien busters?
Men in Black.
We're the Men in Black.
Combining songs. All right. A state trooper reported seeing what looked like meteors flying overhead with a noise like artillery fire or whining, and saw at least 2 of them. He was located at the Shady Oaks restaurant, which was roughly 2 or 3 miles away from Kelly, and they were traveling at a bizarre speed towards the Sutton Farm.
Okay.
So there's sightings of random things. That one at the beginning I said,
Right.
someone actually saw a flying UFO.
Yeah.
This guy's seeing meteors, and he's a state trooper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's stuff going on.
So is this okay? I know you don't really, this is probably fuzzy and I don't know if you can answer my question.
Okay.
But are these meteors in addition to the original? No. So this is everyone's report of that flying saucer. So
a different farm saw the flying saucer. That was a totally different thing.
Right.
This was at like 11, 12 at night.
They saw the meteors.
This state trooper saw meteors.
Okay. So
they're two
this
different.
Is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the first group of aliens crashed.
Okay.
And then they came to the farm to ask for help.
Oh, okay.
Like ET phone home.
But
they wanted to get back
came in
up.
and dropped straight down. So they obviously had control of their ship.
When they dropped straight down.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I think it was like, but why did they come and be like,
yeah, I don't know.
Hi, I come in peace.
Maybe because they read, they know how we are as human beings, maybe.
I don't know. So I think the 2 meteors that came were the rescue crew to come get.
Oh, maybe.
Come get the aliens that were being shot at.
That's like, well, okay. You got to listen to the rest of this.
Okay. There's more.
There's more.
I love it. I love it.
That's why I love this story.
Okay.
Besides the slew of people I mentioned that followed the Suttons and the Taylors to the farmhouse, at least 4 military police, a Madisonville newspaper reporter, and a couple random people also arrived at the same time. Okay. Late at night. The family refused to go back into the house until it was thoroughly searched by authorities, which they did. Okay. Chief Greenwell's first silent mission was to see any evidence of alcohol, which he came up empty, and so did other investigators. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like they're drunk, they're hallucinating. Yeah, it makes sense.
That's a good, we got to come to some conclusion.
Yeah, but the kids though?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
No, just the adults. But you can do a frenzy and make the kids believe anything.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Kids have crazy imaginations.
Right. Later, though, in one of many interviews with Mrs. Langford, she said that alcohol was not allowed in the farmhouse.
Okay.
So we know for sure no one was drinking.
Okay.
It was noted that everyone, even the bravest of men that came and investigated, were on edge as they searched the property. They all felt sort of an unease, maybe due to the Sutton family's fear, or possibly there were non-human creatures staring at them from the darkness and they could feel them being watched. But nonetheless, everyone felt uneasy that night. As they were searching the back area where the first creature was shot and knocked down, they did say they saw a luminous patch roughly 1.5 feet in diameter in the grass. From the side of the fence of the Sutton's farmyard, it was visible, but only at one angle. Once they inched closer, nothing looked out of the ordinary.
Interesting.
So they saw something, but
they couldn't figure out what it was because by the time they looked at it at a different angle, it was everything.
If they
was
got
fine.
closer, it didn't look like anything. But from one certain angle from their farm, there was a patch in the grass where that first creature emerged.
Oh, interesting.
And got shot at.
Right? Was it the creature blood maybe, or
Don't know.
we don't know.
Don't know.
Okay.
After doing a haphazard search of the farm and farmhouse, they found shotgun shells in the yard.
Right.
The screens shot out in the home, but that was it. Unfortunately, Mrs. Langford believed no one even went to the gully where the spaceship had landed, as she said they were all too scared. But everyone started to leave disappointed and skeptical. Most of the investigators promised to return as soon as it was light to continue the search.
because they're too scared to go in the dark. Oh man.
It wasn't their property. It was, remember,
Oh, it was the
gully
neighbor's
was
property.
the neighbor's
yeah.
property. So they didn't even, and it was so dark, they were like, nope, we're not going to do it. By roughly 2 to 2:15 a.m., the Suttons and Taylors were alone again. Or were they?
Dun, dun, dun. I got chills again.
Everyone decided to actually turn in for some shut-eye, and maybe the investigators helped them with this since they couldn't find anything. Mrs. Langford lay down in the living room, her head toward the window, started to drift off. Then she became aware of a glow at the window. As she looked out the window, she saw the same creature, and its claw hands were up on the screen as it was just staring at her silently.
Whoa, that's so creepy. Oh no.
No, I don't. No. To make sure her eyes were not playing tricks on her, she turned her head 3 times away from the window, yet the creature did not move or disappear.
Whoa, so
she's
it
like-
was absolutely real. She's like, oh, my eyes are playing tricks.
Yeah, nope.
Nope.
It's still there.
Oh no.
She calmly and quietly called the rest of the family to come and look at it. But Lucky did not just want to look. He said, I'm going to shoot.
Get my guns.
I'm going to shoot. Mrs. Langford responded with, for God's sake, don't. But Lucky replied, Mama, I'm going to shoot the little man.
Oh,
And he
Lucky.
made good on his word.
Oh, Lucky.
However, just like the previous visits and shots made, there was no effect on the creature.
When will he learn?
I thought
You
he did
can't
earlier, but
shoot
no.
these guys.
Nope. He damaged the window farm. And that
Of
was
course
it.
he did.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay.
Little is known of the events after this. Okay. All we do know based on interviews is that the last sighting happened at 5:15 a.m. Monday morning.
Oh my goodness.
But that's it. 5:15 a.m.
Wow.
Now, what's crazy to me after all this insanity, the family goes about their business as usual. And this
Farm
kind of
chores they got to get done. Yeah.
And I feel like if, okay, and I'm going to go into this. If it were a hoax, they wouldn't do that. I feel like they would go automatically back to the public and start like
spreading it. Yeah.
no. After sunrise, Lucky Sutton, J.C. Sutton, and O.P. Baker drove out to Evansville, Indiana, which is 85 miles north of Kelly, to either borrow a truck or pick up some furniture in a borrowed truck. They're like, we got to do some chores.
Yep.
Billy Ray Taylor went
Also,
hunting.
it's like, let's get out of town.
Yeah, that's true.
And Billy Ray's like, I want to perfect my
shot,
perfect
yeah.
my aim. Yeah.
So he went hunting with a neighbor. And the 4 women remained at the farmhouse. Why?
They have the worst job. They have to
right?
stay at
They
the
gotta stay
farmhouse.
there with all the creatures. This time, when investigators did return, they searched the gully, fields, and woods because it's light out.
Right.
They questioned the children and women and even climbed up onto the roof that was dusty and didn't see any footprints or dragging imprints of the claws. Nothing. The Air Force were there to investigate as well, even though there was talk that they didn't, but they were there. And unfortunately, once the visit reached the public through radio, hordes of people tried to visit the farm, which was a super big nuisance for the Sutton family.
Oh, I'm sure. They just want to forget the whole thing.
Right? They didn't. Yeah, it happened, and it's like, no. What was very helpful, though, in this investigation was the help of engineer announcer Andrew B. Ledwith from the Oklahoma radio station WHOP. He had taken some art classes, and when he met up with the woman, he was able to come up with a sketch.
Oh,
So
look
let me.
at that.
I'm showing her, and I'll put this on our media. Okay, but
Kind of looks like a bird. It kind of looks like a bird.
so
Right? A little bit.
Yep. So the height, again, 2.5 to 3.5 feet. Sex is no indication. Head was bald, same color as body, like an egg.
Uh-huh.
The eyes like saucers, oversized, spaced about 6 inches apart, midway between ears and position of human eyes, partway around face. The ears were floppy, large, came to a point at the top like a piece of wrinkled leather. Did not extend too much above crown, extended out from side somewhat. Mouth, a thin line spread from ear to ear. No lips, perhaps slightly lower than the ear. That's not certain. Skin or covering. Texture, neither smooth nor wrinkled. Had qualities of both, but neither predominated. It seemed to be the actual skin. Body, no neck, arms long and extended almost to ground, slightly tapered, but almost straight from top to bottom. No muscles or other details. Hands, large, oversized with talons. General shape of human hands, no count of fingers or knuckles.
Okay, this creature does look like something that would own a Mothman or maybe turn into a Mothman. Maybe it was like a baby Mothman.
You are so cute. Trying to tie that in. Right?
I am.
Okay.
Oh,
I got some more though.
okay. It's a really interesting because it doesn't look like the traditional alien
No,
picture that you
it's
see.
a creature.
Yeah.
It's like a weird creature. Yeah. Now, once the men came home, Billy Ray had his own version and was interviewed alone by a different investigator. But as everyone knows, he's not the greatest person to trust.
Right. Billy Ray's probably because he didn't actually kill one and
No.
he had to go sharpen his skills. He's probably like, it was massive and blah, blah,
Good.
blah.
Okay.
Yeah, am I
kind of.
right? Okay.
So no one remembered a nose in the creatures, but Billy Ray did.
Yeah.
And he also noted that the creatures were muscular in their upper
Yeah,
bodies.
see?
Yep.
Nice and buff.
Yep. Also, the investigator was almost helping him along with the sketch, this different person, trying to give suggestions which fueled a different idea of the creature. However, it's confusing because this was obviously sketched by Ledwith. So I'm confused because I think he just took whoever sketched it and did this one. So this was
It's
Billy
pretty
Ray's.
similar though. Like it's got
similar.
main attributes are
Yeah.
similar. It does have a nose, but it also has like the big ears that are in
Right.
the same kind of
The
shape.
ears were the same.
Eye placement is the same. The head shape is the same. The main differences are the nose and there's antenna.
Antenna. Yep.
And he's
And
got a
he's got
muscular
muscles.
build.
Exactly.
But the body shape
Is very
basically
similar.
is the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now, lastly,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the men were interviewed by Ledwith and finally came up with the last and final sketch. They came home and they were like, that's kind of it, but this is actually it. So they're like, the
okay.
men were more closer to this creature, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which, when viewed by Mrs. Langford, gave her the spooks of this image, and she would not comment. And she would comment that she couldn't look at it anymore because this is
because she
accurate.
saw it out the window. Yeah.
This is the actual final creature.
I got the chills, but I love that. I love it. It's cute.
It's like a bat.
It's
bat
kind of like a
person.
bat Yoda, like from the side. The ears
Yeah.
are very Yoda-like.
Yeah, the ears are
right?
very big.
That's a good way to describe it. He's very
It
kind
kind
of-
of looks an amphibian man-like almost.
yeah,
right?
amphibian man.
So what they did, they
that's
changed
cool.
it because the head was way more rounder. So the women had it with a chin. This one's like a big circle.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
There's no nose. One man stated very strongly that there was none.
Right.
So none.
They had
no
no
neck,
nose.
no nose. Eyes were yellow. Again, same kind of area. Ears were the same. Body powerful above waist. Muscles were clearly seen.
Which, I mean, that makes sense if that's
Because if
how
they're
they
able
run.
to,
Yeah.
to propel themselves.
Yeah.
Below waist, thin and spindly, almost nose shaped to legs, stick-like.
Right.
Okay. Hands are the same, everything. So the biggest change in the final sketch was the head shape and a little bit bigger body.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I like the side view. I think it's so
Right?
cute. I mean, yeah, I would be freaked out if I saw this in real life because I have nothing to compare it to in my natural world.
Right.
It looks like nothing on this planet.
No.
But I don't know if I would be super like scared of it. I think I would be
If
curious.
it was short too. It's not like it's
Yeah,
like
it's
huge
only
and
like it's
overpowering,
like a little kid.
yeah,
kid
and it
size.
didn't talk. It didn't try to like hurt him.
No.
Ledwith's impression of the family as he was sketching for them, they were all genuine and all 100% in belief of what they saw. Ledwith did not try to suggest anything. All body parts were given to him without any doubt, except the nose from Billy Ray. But again, they were so mesmerized by the eyes that they were the one feature that they saw the most, right? They couldn't remember the nose. No one was asking the other what they thought or trying to work together. Everyone was very certain and could feel how terrified the women still were about it.
Yeah.
As mentioned earlier, those following days were very hard on the family. Remember? Oh, maybe I didn't say this. There were no locks on the doors. I didn't say that.
No, you didn't.
Okay,
Ooh,
so
that makes it scarier.
yeah, no locks on the door. So, but gawkers and nosy people would walk through the house at any time they pleased.
Oh my gosh, people,
Yeah.
come on.
They wanted the family to pose for pictures. Small businesses were trying to set up concession stands in their yard. The radio stations wanted them to come in for more interviews,
How
but the family
disrespectful.
refused.
People,
Yeah.
you don't just invade other people's
Nope.
yards and set up. I'm going to set up a concession
This
stand in
was
your property.
huge back then. I mean, you imagine like nothing ever happening this in this little rural town, like,
Yeah.
and people just being nosy and
Yeah, it's
mean.
like I just. But to be so brazen to just walk through the
Oh,
house.
yeah.
Hi, let me
Yeah.
take a picture
I
of
want to
y'all.
take pictures of the alien. Yeah.
No, come on.
And the Air Force did not have their backs. They issued 2 statements to the press. First, that there had been no official investigation of the reports of the spaceship and its passengers. And second, there were no basis to the report. And almost all the public was extremely skeptical of the family. At one point, there were rumors that the family up and left because of all the chaos. Yes, the Suttons actually wanted to leave for Michigan, where Mrs. Langford's married daughter lived.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, makes sense.
But knowing they would most likely be looted by people, since again, no locks,
Right.
they returned soon after their departure.
Oh.
Another interesting fact. Fort Campbell sent out investigators to question the family and wanted a description of the little men that visited them. They left and returned a few hours later with an actual model of it, and the family confirmed its accuracy. Mrs. Langford said, "The man who made it must have known exactly what they looked like."
Yeah, it was a pre-made model if they returned so quickly.
So quickly.
Wow.
Okay, now,
Okay.
with all that said,
Yeah.
skeptic pants on if you want to, but it's crazy.
No, I fully believe in aliens.
Okay.
Come on.
But
of course there
I'm going
are.
to go into like what skeptics were saying,
Okay.
and then I'm going to debunk that too.
And then I'm going to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on your team with
Okay.
that because people, come on,
Yeah.
don't be skeptical. There are aliens. Of course there are.
And this poor family, man. Why
Yeah.
would they make this up? Okay. I'm going to go into it.
Okay.
No footprints. Okay. The counter.
Because they float.
Yes. The counter. The ground was extremely hard and dry at this time in August in
Oh,
Oklahoma. And the little men were practically weightless. Remember
Right.
them floating around? So most likely they wouldn't leave much impressions.
Right. Mm-hmm.
No marks on the roof. Same situation. Weightless creatures.
Yeah.
Okay. No blood. Due to the fact that they were shot at, the creatures, and they weren't harmed and may not even have blood, who knows? Like,
Yeah.
they're a
I
different
mean, you
creature
heard like a
altogether.
metal ting.
Yes.
So to
They
me,
could
that
have
sounds
been-
like the bullet just bounced off.
Yeah. It's either they're made from like their body composition is something where bullets are impenetrable, or they're wearing some like super awesome armor, like spacesuit that's not
Yeah.
going to be penetrated.
Right. Right. Exactly.
None of them died, right?
Right.
There was that luminous patch that I mentioned earlier, which could have indicated some kind of harm, but who knows? No one really knows.
Right. Because they saw the patch and then they didn't see it and they're like, meh, whatever.
Yeah. So they didn't do any more investigation of that.
Yeah.
No one saw any of the little men. Okay.
We have 10 witnesses that saw the little men
Yeah.
and one woman who's like, I'm not
No,
playing this
right?
game. Yeah.
Well, besides them. When the Suttons gave their account on the event that happened, they kept saying how the creatures would appear from the darkness, and their home at the time of the incident only had lower power bulbs and some flashlights, which may have been okay for those creatures to withstand, right?
Mm-hmm.
With no pupils or eyelids, they probably were not able to handle any brighter light. When the authorities did that search that night, there's probability, since they were so weightless, they could have hid amongst the high tree branches because they didn't look up there.
Right.
Or
they
they-
were looking down on the ground.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, these creatures are about 2.5, 3
They
feet
should
tall.
be on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they retreated to their spaceship because it
Mhm.
was still there.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Yes.
no spaceship was found.
Well, okay. It could have gone as quickly as it came.
Obvious explanation is it was in the sky.
Yeah.
When they searched at night, no one approached the gully right away. And if the craft was able to stop midair and land straight down, Who's to say it did the same when the Suttons took off for the authorities and returned with their fevered curiosity and then took off before sunrise? Like, there's so many ways to hide this thing because it was so quiet and silent, right?
Right. Yeah. Nobody in the house heard it.
Nope.
Only, who was it that saw it first?
Ray.
Billy Ray
He
saw
was
it at first.
outside,
Yeah.
because he was outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
No sign any object had landed. Okay. Investigators found no impressions, burned land, crushed areas, etc. Most likely, if the creatures were able to float and be weightless, what's stopping them to make a craft that can hover with no use of heat?
Right. They're using technology. I mean, this craft is moving in a way that we can't
do it.
do it.
It's like light years advanced.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no one did check for radioactivity in the gully, which they could have, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Arguments. More arguments.
Radioactive. Okay.
Billy Ray Taylor and Lucky Sutton, as mentioned earlier, were part of a traveling carnival. Everybody knew that. So they for sure swindled the public because they knew how to trick them, right?
Oh, goodness me.
However, Billy Ray was already discredited in some ways by the family. Remember?
Yeah. They're like, don't listen to him.
Yeah, he's foolish. But so why would they all buy into what he would have to say? They already said he was seeing things when the ship landed. So why would they go along with the charade when family was visibly frightened?
Yeah. And I think that, like, due to the invasiveness of everybody that came to their farm and just brazenly went into their house or set up shop on their land, they would have come out at some point and been like, you guys, guess what? It was all a hoax. We were just kidding. Go home.
Right.
And they never did.
No, they
always stuck to their story.
They were just mad. They were mad they were there.
Why would they allow all this harassment to keep going when they very easily could have made it stop by saying it was a hoax?
Right. Nope, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They did start charging for, they started charging for admission.
Oh, the Suttons were charging for admission to their
and people
home?
were saying, oh, this whole thing was a publicity and a profit. Now, they did that. They put signs, but only because the no trespassing signs and shooing them away didn't do anything. So they thought
okay, I'll make you pay money if you want to come to my land. Makes sense.
Exactly. They wanted to bring some money
too.
in or discourage people from coming up to their property, saying you're going to have to pay us in order to come in.
Right.
They didn't instantaneously put those admission signs up the day after. And they even asked why, like, get off our property. So,
yeah.
So they were just trying to get them to, like, well, maybe we'll make a profit off of this after, like, days of being harassed.
Yeah. And, I mean, people want to hold on to their money. So they wouldn't,
Exactly.
That's a
back then.
much better way. No trespassing signs.
It's not going to do anything.
There's not going to do anything.
Right.
But if you're like, you have to pay me money to come on my land,
And
people are going to think twice. Yeah.
Exactly.
I get their thinking.
Lastly, I want to recite a passage from a very extensive report. This is where I got all my research from. Close Encounter at Kelly. It's by Isabel Davis and Ted Bletcher. And it's so, so detailed. This is, again, that's how I got all
ready.
this. Okay. I'm going to recite a passage. The Suttons stuck to their story. Stubbornly, angrily, they insisted that they were telling the truth. Neither adults nor children ever so much as hinted at the possibility of an exaggeration or a mistake, neither in public nor to relatives. There was no trace of a retraction in any of Mrs. McCord's information. The publicity, the questioning, the ridicule, the insinuations that they were flighty or weak-minded had no effect. Eventually, unable to cope with the situation, they took refuge in angry silence. But this is not the same thing as a recantation. Their refusal to concede an inch of skepticism may not prove anything about the truth of their story, but it does tell something about them. Isn't that crazy?
This was real.
This was real. And then one more thing. I said lastly, but I lied. There's one more thing. Okay. Sorry. One last thing I did want to make a note about was that both the author, Isabel Davis, and Chief Greenwell, who interviewed Mrs. Langford after the incident, Chief Greenwell said, she was the most impressive witness. She's the type of person who wouldn't tell a lie if her life depended on it. And both her sons that lived in Hopkinsville, Tillman Jr. and Frank, thought it was a hoax until they heard Mrs. Langford also saw the creatures. After that, they believed her and that something did visit the farm. Tillman Jr. even said, if Mama saw it, it was there.
Oh, nice. Good. One last round of chills for me.
Right?
That was good.
So you got to read this report. It's free online.
Okay.
Close Encounter at Kelly and Others of 1955.
I love it.
But isn't that a fascinating encounter?
That was good. That was very like your very classic
Yes.
alien story. The only thing that was missing was the cow being sucked up into the spaceship.
Something being taken.
Right.
I shouldn't have.
Oh, that was so good. I love alien stories.
This
you need
one
to do more. That one was real. I've never heard that one, and
Right.
it's so classic.
It
It's
called
so
to
good.
me because of how just all these details and the fact that they won't recant and they believe what they saw.
Well, yeah, and 10 people seeing it
10 people.
all at the same time, and they all have very
And it's
staunch
all the
personalities. They're
same.
not inclined to. Well, a couple of them are inclined to lie, but they were called out on that.
One
so-
of them would exaggerate more,
Yeah.
but other than that, it was like they all had the same experience.
Yeah. I fully believe this. I mean, there's no way that we are the only intelligent life form that there exists in the entire
the whole
universe.
which I can't even fathom how big this place is. It's
Right.
like, fun fact.
Oh, yes. She got
Just
excited.
this is a side thing because I love space, and my husband does too. We're so fascinated. They had a model replica of our sun, like if spaced down, and it was like 3 million Earths would fit into the sun.
Right.
And they showed it. And I was like, holy crap. So if the sun is that big, I can't even fathom how big our universe is. Like,
And our okay, so I grew up with space around me, right? So I grew up in Houston. My dad is an aerospace engineer.
That's so
working
cool.
at NASA.
nice.
My friends growing up, their parents were astronauts.
Oh my gosh.
I knew lots of astronauts.
That is so cool.
I used to work at Space Center Houston.
Wow.
So I've been around space my
Mm-hmm.
entire life. And it's mind-boggling what exists out there and how truly bizarre things are outside of our natural world.
Oh, yeah.
There is a planet that rains diamonds.
I saw that.
Right?
I saw that in the news.
To me, that's insane.
What?
But yeah, we have no idea what kind of things can exist beyond our world because we're not exposed to that.
Nope.
And we've only dipped our toe.
Oh,
not even
barely.
not even an entire toe.
Yeah.
Like not even an entire pinky toe.
Exactly.
Just tiny scratches of the surface of what is possible outside of Earth. So of course, I'm not arrogant enough to think that
We're alone.
we're alone. There's no way we're alone.
No.
And I fully believe we've been visited
Multiple times. At
yeah.
least.
And all of the Tic Tac videos from the Air Force finally starting to release things, and
Right.
alien stuff is finally starting to be released and come back out, and
Well,
we're
so
getting all this intelligence.
this story was
Yes.
originally not part of Project Blue Book, which is that big thing that they're releasing.
Yeah.
But now it is.
Now it is, yeah. Because the Air Force was there. And
Yes.
so I fully believe that they're like, oh, nothing to see
Nope.
here, and swooping it under the rug.
Yeah, they're all
as they're gathering their
crazy.
information.
Yeah.
And having that model of the alien right there, that was absolutely not the first time they
No.
came across these creatures.
Exactly.
How cool. I
is such a cool
love it.
story.
This is a good one, Nicole.
Thank you. I love
We
it.
have to go visit the farm.
Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma, where the wind comes. This is our second Oklahoma
Yes,
one.
because there's a haunted house there. So
Oh,
we'll
that's
have to
right.
go do that
That's right.
too.
Yes.
We have a big bucket
Go.
list.
We do. Well, that was an awesome story time,
Thanks.
Nicole. I loved
Me
it.
too. Well, let's go on.
Is it time for movie time?
It's movie time.
Yay.
Okay, movie time. As we were mentioning, this is very, very in sync with our story
Absolutely.
time and
Signs everywhere. The signs. Okay.
as Angela's singing. So yes, we are going to review Signs, which was released in 2002. It got 6.8 stars in IMDb. The synopsis. A widowed former reverend living with his children and brother on a Pennsylvania farm finds mysterious crop circles in their fields, which suggests something more frightening to come.
Yes. This is, or was, but still is a very strong favorite of mine. But I loved this movie when it came out.
Yes.
It scared the bejesus out of me.
Right?
Because especially when, okay, I'm like jumping way ahead. There's no spoilers.
No, you all see
here,
this, I'm
because
sure.
if you haven't watched it on YouTube, it's free with ads.
free.
Yeah, there's ads, but that's
Whatever.
okay. That gives you an opportunity to go get a drink or get some
Snacks.
popcorn or snacks or take a pee break, whatever you need to do. But it's so good. And what really got me, first of all, I was a big M. Night Shyamalan fan when he first came out, because the way he told his stories, it was very different at the time.
Oh,
People
yeah.
weren't telling stories the way that he was, and you couldn't see the twists and the turns, and you couldn't see how things were going to come together. And this movie was the pinnacle of that for me, because when they're in the basement, and especially when the hand comes around and grabs Morgan, the little boy,
Creepy.
I was like, there's no way they're getting out of this. I saw absolutely, and this was the first movie I ever saw where I was like, I don't know how they're going to get out of this.
So
I don't know how this is going to
creepy.
end.
Yep.
They cannot get out.
Yep.
And I very vividly remember saying that, and I still say that. And I'm like, the way they get out is just crazy.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's so fun.
There's so many elements to this movie that just like got me, and it scared me, and just you feel so empathetic for this family, and they're going through all this, like, again, very similar to Hereditary, where it's like you lose a family member and they're just that grief, you know,
the grief, and everybody's processing it in very different ways. And you don't have a cohesive unit, and you're
No.
trying to find a way to move forward, and everyone's moving forward in very different ways. And so it's
like
really
that.
interesting. And the way that the tone of the whole movie, and this is a very M. Night Shyamalan thing, where everybody is just very even and very kind of calm and very kind of serene, and just, you know, there's not a whole lot of big dramatic acting. It's all
No.
very level.
Yeah.
And
But that's kind of chilling too.
it's very chilling, and
'Cause
it's
when
very
things
like
happen, it's just like, whew.
it's very jarring.
Yeah.
That's where the drama comes. And
Yes.
it makes you put yourself in that situation a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
because they aren't reacting with these big crazy motions. They're
Right.
kind of like, oh, that's interesting, and
they're
they
trying
kind
to
of
piece it together.
and they kind of approach it the way that I feel I would approach it. Everything's definitely more internal, and it's
Right.
not like big reactions to everything.
Right. But it is scary right from the get-go, and that's what I love about scary movies that do this. Like, they're screaming, right? The little
Yeah, the little kids
just
and
like screaming, and then
just
you're
scream, and then the
what's
parents immediately
happening?
perk up. And
Yes.
like, what? And then when they're in the field, when the dad is in the field with the cop, and then he stops and he goes, "I don't hear my children."
Yes.
That is such a pro-parent move.
Yes.
That
you
is
know,
100%.
it's like, oh, yeah.
Like, something's amiss if
Yeah.
I can't hear my kids. Yeah.
And it's funny, I was reading the reviews on YouTube for this movie.
Yes.
And so 2002, right? It came out.
Yes.
I first watched it, and I loved it. But even someone put it out, I was like, that's so true. After having kids,
Oh, yeah. This movie hits you in a way different
changes
way.
your perspective. Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like,
Those reactions were very real parent reactions.
Yes.
Every time, like when he's brushing his teeth and he hears this kid scream, then he just
Yeah.
stops
and he listens.
and he listens. And then his brother doing the same thing, just stop, like
Yeah.
waking up and being like, and then you just run.
Yes.
You're like, okay, what's going on? I gotta
Right?
find my kid.
And then the scene where they're eating the food, and he prepared, he's like, everybody eat. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm going to enjoy." I'm like, that's something I would totally do.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
yeah.
so caught up in emotions and like the fear of everything, I would totally just flip out too.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, yeah,
I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna
eat everything.
And I love
Eat
the
up.
way he grabs everybody,
Yes.
even his brother,
Oh,
and
and
they
he grabs
all,
his brother.
yeah,
That was sweet.
they're all
and
crying, and he was like,
touching.
"I'm just gonna eat. Just eat the food."
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
There's so many emotions, and he does that so well.
yeah.
And I actually teared up this time watching
Oh,
this movie.
did you?
Because at the end, when he's clutching his son, and he's like, he has asthma for a reason. And then Joaquin Phoenix, his face, and he does a great performance.
Joaquin did a great performance.
He's like,
yes.
he's freaking out, and she's little girl's crying, and then he goes, "Was I saved?" And I was like,
Oh, that sounded like one of your little kids. So I feel like that's such a
Oh,
reaction you would
God.
have.
gut wrenching.
Yeah, it is. So one thing that reminded me of my kids.
Oh, yes.
And this is total pro parent move.
Uh-huh.
I love anytime they do this in the movie where the dad is sleeping and then the little girl, young Abigail Breslin.
So cute.
She's so
cute.
freaking adorable. And you see her in this and then you think of where she is now
No.
in like Zombieland.
So different. Yep.
So different.
She grew up. That's okay.
She grew up and good.
Yes.
Good
Yeah.
for her. But she was so freaking adorable.
Perfect for this too.
And the fact, like when she goes to her dad and her dad just suddenly wakes up and it's her face right in front of his face. I'm like, yup. That's a parent thing.
Yep.
Like, there's a man outside my window.
Monster.
A monster. That's what it is. There's a monster outside my window. Can I have a glass of water?
Yes. And phased. Again, that whole fact that you're saying, like, there's just like, she's not screaming.
No.
She's not freaking
just
out.
very matter of fact.
Very, specific.
Yeah. And he's just like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get you a glass of water.
Yep. We're all good.
There were so many moments.
So many good moments.
Where, and they all have their tinfoil hats on and the dad walks in and he's just like, okay. Yeah. He just has to go with all of the things that keep happening. And he finds Meryl in the closet with the TV. And he's like, okay. This is what we're doing now.
Which is a great scene. I love that. He's like, they were watching too much TV and his eyes are glued to the TV. He's like, they were watching too much TV. I sent him out to go do things and he's like watching. But yeah, so many good moments. And yes, there's a religious undertone to it because it's called Signs. So it's not just signs that aliens are coming.
There's, multiple levels to this.
Yes.
The dad was a
priest.
Minister. Yeah, he was a minister. And then he lost his faith because of the way his wife died.
Yes.
And he couldn't reconcile that God would do that to take her away. And so he lost his faith. And then she gave him signs in her final words,
right,
which always gives me chills. It gave me chills right now. And he recognized those signs and was able to finally realize what that connection is, and that made him believe in God again and go back to being a minister,
right,
which I think is a beautiful story that goes along with that.
Sure.
And it doesn't have to be like a religion, but if you lose faith in either your religion or in humanity or in life, and then you find meaning in it again. That's what the beautiful story is here.
And his family, just like
he found his meaning and he found his purpose, and he was able to glue his family back together through this really crazy experience.
Right.
But I do have to talk about one thing that bothers me in this movie.
Oh, there's a few that I'm going to go into.
Okay. Mine is silly.
Okay, go.
Joaquin Phoenix's shoulder.
Oh, that's right. This is silly.
It's so silly. I just had to bring a light element into it. But
everyone's got their quirks.
He has one shoulder that's rounded forward, and I think I don't know if it was like a birth defect or something, but it's really pronounced in this movie. And so every time I see it, I just want to like roll his shoulder back.
Didn't even see that.
I know.
Funny.
It's such a stupid thing for me to like notice and focus on, but you guys will see it. And he's such an incredible actor.
So
like
good in this.
The shoulder thing, whatever, it's fine. But for me, that's just like a silly, dumb little thing that I noticed where I'm just like, let's roll your shoulder back. Let's put it back in place. It's not in the right place. No. And I think I noticed those things because, posture. I teach posture with my singing. So I want to fix the posture and fix the placement of the shoulders. And so
you're funny. You should have seen me when I was playing in school. You would have gotten so mad at me, but would have helped me because my shoulders would go forward a lot.
Yeah, I roll forward. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
My posture suffered.
Alexander technique, people.
I know. Okay. I'm sure everyone's like seen this and they know this and they probably say this all the time, but why would an alien species pick Earth knowing that it's 70% water? Right? And they're in a farm where there's sprinklers going off. I'm sure all times of the day, they've had to have touched water at some point and go, oh, ow. Like, oh no,
water is their weakness. Spoiler, guys. That's how we get rid of the aliens is through water.
Which Angela pointed out to me that I didn't realize that M. Night Shyamalan's got this thing with water in all his movies, which is cool. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. But like, you can't make a weakness of an alien species to come invade and harvest humans when, one, they're surrounded by water. Maybe there's a couple countries, but don't they know that's like going to be a hazard? Like, I'm going to land somewhere. I'm going through the atmosphere where there's water.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they're coming to harvest humans, which is
We're
what they
all
were
water.
doing. We're water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, sorry, M. Night Shyamalan. It's a really good story, and I love this, but this does not make sense because aliens would not come to Earth if their weakness is water.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It wouldn't make sense.
They're that smart to come travel millions of billions of light years away to harvest us.
Well, maybe they were that desperate.
I guess, but that was stupid. And they can't open a pantry door. Come on.
Yeah,
Like,
he could open the pantry
you
door.
can't open
They
a
were
door.
wiggling the knob
Yeah.
in the basement.
And
They
they were
can do
smart
it.
enough to like do
But he had a whole
tactic
big
of-
like table shoved up against the pantry
but
door.
Still,
So
they look strong. They had poison in their bodies.
Yeah.
Like, you'd think they would be able to handle doors,
yeah,
locks.
if a dinosaur can figure out how to open a door.
Right? Yes, Jurassic Park. But anyway, it very elaborated to get to this story. That's where it bugs me the most. But all said and done, it was a really good story.
Yes,
And it was
M. Night Shyamalan is a very good storyteller. I like the way he weaves the tapestries and gets multiple layers of a story told.
right.
And he does it in a way that was brand new at the time.
Yes, 2002. Yeah, that was cool back then.
Sixth Sense.
Yes.
I mean, you'd never seen him. I don't want to spoil the Sixth Sense, but you know,
well, if you've seen Signs, I'm sure you've seen Sixth Sense.
where he was dead the whole time. It was him. He's the dead people.
And that was so
that
cool.
shocked everybody.
That was
to the
so
point that I
cool.
remember when that movie came out, nobody would spoil that.
Yeah,
It was everyone was very
Quiet about
respectful
it.
and nobody
Mhm.
spoiled that.
I like that too.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well, how many stitches would you give this movie?
I love this movie. I don't care how problematic it is. I still go back to it. I still find new things in it. And, you know, as I get older and, you know, I'm a parent now. So
Right.
those parent emotions were coming in stronger. It's just a movie that I keep going back to and I will watch it.
Yeah.
So it's got to be high. It's got to be like an 8. Yeah,
Okay.
8 stitches. It's high.
Good for you. That's a higher than I would. I'd give it a 5.
A 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because again, no, it's a good movie.
You just have
Horror-
issues with the water.
Yes. It's not a horror movie.
No, it's an alien movie.
Yeah, which is, supernatural.
But it's really a story about losing faith and coming back to
Yes.
your own faith.
And it's
set against
it's heartwarming in
aliens.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Against aliens that shouldn't be here. Anyway, I would give it a 5 just because of those plot holes. But
We
I'm
should have
not
watched
saying it's
Mars Attacks. That would have been a better one.
my husband loves that movie. He watches that, I swear to God, monthly.
Does he really?
Yes, because he loves that movie. And I get
It's
it.
so funny.
It's got some really cool elements to it. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we could have. Well, it's not a horror movie.
It's not a
either,
horror movie. Yeah.
but he loves that movie.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
It's silly, but anyway,
I
yeah,
love alien movies.
yeah. We could probably do that a lot in this podcast.
Yeah. We'll do more aliens because there's
Of course.
so much more.
So much.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please check out more of our podcast. You can catch us on Podbean.
Yeah.
What do we have going on Podbean right now, Nicole?
Yo, we just set up a Patron account.
Patron. It's not Patreon, but
Not
it's Patron.
Patron.
So you have to go
To
to
Podbean.
Podbean and catch our Patron if you
Please.
guys want to help support us, because it does cost money to buy yarn. It does cost us money to buy storage space
It
for all
costs
of our
so much.
what
And
we're recording.
It's just us two. Everyone else
is
has
us.
these like groups of people that they can hire. Nope, we can't. We
yeah,
have no
it's
money
just
to do
us.
that.
Yeah, it's just us. So if you want to support our little podcast and help us grow
Yeah.
and get some handmade things from Nicole and I
Yes.
and get some shout outs,
Yeah.
find us on Podbean at patron.podbean.com/TOS.
TOS.
You can also email us at theominousstitch@gmail.com. Check out any of our socials.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you. So let us know what you're going on. If you guys decide to purchase the wonderful alien head granny square, it is awesome. I highly recommend you do it.
Yay.
Show us what you're making. Show us what you're making if you aren't doing an alien head granny square. We want to hear from you. We want to build our community. So thank you guys for joining us for another exciting episode.
Thank
and
you.
We'll see you, Stitchers.
See ya, Stitchers.